So in this video, the first of the series, I want to start exploring resilience. And actually, I'm not going to offer you a grand definition of resilience. I'm not going to talk about the science of resilience, because what I'm interested in is you reflecting on what resilience might mean for you. Broadly, we might say that resilience is something to do with how you respond to events that are going to happen in your life as a student. And broadly, we might say that's something to do with whether you just hold steady, whether you bounce back, whether you perhaps adapt or even learn from those events. But actually, beyond that, it really is about what does it feel like for you. Resilience is a personal quality in that sense. And I want us just to spend a bit of time exploring what that might be. So to start with, what I'd like you to do is think of a time when you felt your resilience was particularly low, when you felt the least resilient. And I want you to imagine that as vividly as possible. So that might mean closing your eyes. You might want to really remember where you were, perhaps think of the colours, the smells, the sights, the sounds, really trying to bring to life for yourself what that experience was like, and noticing what it feels like. And as you do that, you may feel something happen in your body. Perhaps your shoulders drop, or perhaps you feel tense somewhere, perhaps you feel a jitter somewhere. Just notice that and be aware of where that experience is for you. And it doesn't matter if this is a long time ago or this may be what you're feeling at the moment. Just tapping into it for the moment. And see what words come up for you. People often talk about, when they feel resilience, they talk about feeling exposed, small, trapped. Perhaps as a metaphor for you, perhaps you feel flat as a balloon. Perhaps you feel like you're trapped in a cage, or perhaps you feel like you've suddenly been exposed in front of lots of people. Or maybe for you, when you're least resilient, it's like running around like a headless chicken. Just notice what that feels like, capture it for yourself and acknowledge it. Then have a pause, kind of shake that off, let go of that feeling for the moment, and tap into the opposite. Think now of a time when you felt more resilient, perhaps the most resilient you've ever felt. Allow yourself to embody that, so to feel it physically, and to do that, imagine it as vividly as you can. So again, you might want to close your eyes, you might want to think back to what you were doing, who you were with, the colours, the sounds, the smells, really trying to experience again what it's like when you feel more resilient. And people often describe words such as feeling more open, feeling stronger, feeling kind of ready to tackle the elements. Perhaps for you it's like standing on top of a mountain or steering a ship through a storm. Perhaps it's something to do with feeling strong, like you could, as strong as an ox, or as strong as an oak tree blowing in the wind. Actually, it doesn't matter. The question is, what does it mean to you? What metaphor captures for you what it's like when you're feeling the most resilient? Just to build on this experience of what it feels like to be resilient, let's just try a little experiment scoring your resilience. So if you were to score your resilience now on a level of 1 to 10, so 0 is not resilient at all, 10 super resilient, ask yourself, where do you feel you are on that score at the moment? And ask yourself then, how resilient would you like to be? So perhaps you're feeling around 5 or 6 at the moment and you'd like to be around 7 or 8. Or perhaps you're 7 or 8 and you'd like to be 9 or 10. Or perhaps you're 2 or 3 and you'd like to be 8 or 9. Just try as a little experiment, capturing that score. It's something you can return to throughout the program. But you can also just ask yourself right now, is there any small step you can take? Is there any one small thing you can see that would help you move up that scale?